friends, I'm back with another short story today, and I'm sure this story is going to inspire you and touch your hearts. This story is about one of the greatest physicists, that is Albert Einstein. When Albert Einstein's theory of relativity became famous, he was invited by several universities to give presentation on his theory. He used to always go by car, and he was always accompanied by his driver for all the conferences. And the car driver used to sit at the last row during his presentations in those conferences. One day, when they were going for a presentation, the driver said, "Sir, your theory of relativity is so simple that even I can give presentation on it. I heard it so many times that I remembered each and every word of your presentation." Einstein, instead of getting annoyed, he felt really happy to know that even his driver was able to understand his theory of relativity, even though he doesn't have any knowledge of science. Those days, media was not a booming industry, so most of the people didn't know how Einstein looked like. So Einstein asked his driver, "Would you like to give presentation on my theory in my next conference?" And the driver happily agreed. When they reached the next presentation location, they exchanged their clothes. Einstein dressed up like a driver and the driver dressed up like a scientist. And both of them entered the conference hall. The driver, who was dressed up like a professional scientist, he went onto the stage and he started giving presentation. And he managed to give the presentation so well that no one could doubt him. So the presentation was successfully completed. After the presentation, there was a question and answer round. So he managed to give the answers to all the questions asked by the audience, because those questions were the questions which were asked in the previous conferences also. So those questions were familiar to the driver and he could manage to give right answers to all those questions. The question and answer session was about to end, but one person at the last, he asked a question. The driver didn't know the answer for that particular question because that question was not familiar to him, as this was not asked in the previous conferences. The driver thought for a while how this situation can be handled, and he replied, "Your question is so simple that even my driver can answer your question. Could you please clarify with him?" Einstein was amazed by his response, and he stood up and answered the question. So the whole presentation went on really well. So friends, what is the moral of the story? So the moral of the story is quick thinking and good presence of mind can bring you out of the difficult situations. Hope you enjoyed today's story. I'll be coming up with more such stories for you. Thanks for your support. Have a good day. Take care.